Hello, this is Phil Bautista with Bull Creek Data, and I'm here with Mr. Darius Wallace, AVP with BMC Software. Welcome, Darius.
Hey, thanks, Phil. Glad to be here.
Absolutely. So you're presenting at the upcoming Las Vegas Remedy Users Group in December on the topic of BMC Helix Platform, the big picture and the philosophy behind the transformation. Can you give us a glimpse of what we can expect to see and hear from your presentation about the BMC Helix platform and the big picture and the philosophy that's behind this transformation?
Yeah, I'll give you a touch on it, but I don't want to have everybody get all the details because they won't show up at the presentation. But I'll touch on a few things that kind of sets the stage. The thing I think most of us know, I've been around Remedy for quite a while, 23, 24 plus years. And we've got a lot of history background working with filters and workflow and things along those lines. So there's a very solid and rich capability around the Remedy platform itself. But as we look at things going forward and some of the strategy with BMC, looking at customers doing digital transformation and trying to deal with higher level capability, enabling enterprise service management solutions, which go beyond just IT, leveraging AI ops, machine learning, things along those lines, there's other layers that need to come into play in order to enable that capability. And so, many of you may have been aware of the fact that, hey, Remedy had its footprint in its space, primarily in the ITSM service management space, and it still does. The key, however, is that as a part of that larger story, that larger capability, service management is tightly coupled with other capabilities that customers are trying to address as a part of their quote unquote digital transformation. And so to achieve that, and in order to be in a position to support those goals with capabilities and solutions that we put out into the market, there's a larger, higher level platform that the Remedy ITSM service management structure, architecture is a part of now. And so the topic here is to raise the eye level on just not about Remedy ITSM, but also understand how Remedy and ITSM fits into the larger picture of things that come into play for customers who are trying to do transition from reactive to proactive activities, where they need to depend upon event management to trigger events, create incidents, maybe getting involved into things like intelligent probable cause, doing things like probable cause, looking at things that deal with proactive problem management, where you leverage AI and machine learning in order to get in front of things and discover things that you would not have otherwise been able to accomplish by just looking at transactions and incidents. So this topic, this conversation is really going to be showing the architecture, the bigger picture, the larger architecture, the larger platform, and how Remedy and what we've traditionally worked with before is tied into the capabilities of Innovation Suite, Innovation Studio, and how those things fit into that larger Helix platform. And having that context opens the door up to a whole wealth of other opportunities.
You're talking about now this digital transformation that we hear so much about. Is that correct?
Yes. Yes.
Well,
absolutely.
And I think it's important for the audience here to understand that Remedy's not going away, but it's being augmented by the Helix platform and this big picture. And again, as you mentioned, the philosophy behind the entire digital transformation that you've just described. Does that cover basically what you're saying? Yeah.
Right. And I mean, frankly, let's keep it real. I mean, for a period of time, we were all, there are many of us who were kind of like, what's the future for Remedy and the things that BMC is doing? There seems to be a lot of discussion and activity going into our SaaS investment, and Remedy being this thing that's a additive component or something we maintain because of customers that we've had in the past. There's been a fundamental paradigm shift in the philosophy and thinking. Remedy, as the core element of our service management capability, is tied into the direction and the vision of the things that BMC is doing going forward. If any of you recall, a while ago, we talked about being able to add a workflow process layer that was supposed to be an extension to the Remedy platform layer. And then at some point we kind of deviated from that, almost treating them like two separate products. Well, that's no longer the case. You'll see in some of the other sessions, which I'll reinforce in this session, how that has now become a converged platform where, in fact, the Innovation Studio and the Innovation Suite of products tie into and leverage and can connect with and collaborate with the Remedy data store and the information and the workflow that's there as well. So you have that element in place. And then when you tie that into some of the upstream things I talked about, you want to tie into AI ops and machine learning and things along those lines. Some of the key things to note is the philosophy around this platform moves us away from having separate solutions have their own data stores for what they do, having their own functions, and therefore we end up with 5 different products with 3 different reporting solutions, right? And so then a customer who's using multiple of our products or a combination of our products now has to deal with 3 different technologies to do reporting or dashboards or things along those lines. With this platform, with the evolution of the platform that's supporting this autonomous digital enterprise vision, the philosophy is we now have a common set of data stores. And we'll talk about where that comes into play and how the Remedy platform, the Remedy solution service management comes into play there. We also have some common and shared services, things that deal with reporting, things that deal with, as I said, AI, machine learning, other activities, other things that are commonly needed by upstream solutions. And so when you put together a platform that is purpose-built to support a common use of common functions, leveraging common data stores to then support these upstream solutions, that's the bigger picture. And Remedy and our workflow and Innovation Studio, Innovation Suite, service management, event management, capacity, all of these things are those upper level solutions that are going to be tied into and working within that platform. And that's what I hope to illustrate and hopefully make people aware of, to kind of raise the level of their view beyond just focused on service management and Remedy, but how service management is a much more integral part and ties into a much bigger picture and a much more, a much larger enterprise solution, especially when it comes to these discussions of digital transformation.
Well, again, that sounds very insightful. I recall, as you mentioned, this divergence, right? Back in the day, but it sounds like it's all coming together now to this converged platform that incorporates machine learning and AI and ops and kind of thing. And so, and again, it goes across platforms so that all of the BMC solutions will be incorporated in, the capabilities that are provided digitally, to the community and to the customer. So I'm looking forward to your presentation. It's definitely one I'm not going to miss. So anything else you want to tell us before, without giving away the secret sauce of your presentation?
No, I just look forward to meeting a bunch of folks who've been doing this for a while. We've all got that small, tight-knit community. And hopefully at the end of the session, you'll see that the world has not gotten smaller for Remedy, but it's allowing Remedy to be a part of a much bigger story. And it's very important, I think, out of the session to understand that key point, because we want to go beyond just focusing on how Remedy is a component in the engine and basically understand the engine so that we can understand those other moving parts and talk to customers at a much higher level and be able to make customers aware that, frankly, their opportunities go beyond just the Remedy workflow and filters and active links and things like that. There's some exciting things going on in that space: the progressive WebEx, chat operations, live chat, chatbots, DWPA. All of those things are still relevant and important, but we want to also see that in the context of that larger picture, so that we can talk to customers across the board about what BMC is doing, what value we add when we work with them in the service management space, and how that fits into some of those larger opportunities that customers are working for.
Well, and you say it's all about data, and the ability to look across platforms and see the data and report on that data and gather that from different sources, I think is key, right, to provide that managed service. So will you be able to stick around? We're going to have some, we're bringing back Birds of a Feather sessions, by the way. So we're going to be at, on one of the evenings, we're going to have some Birds of a Feather sessions, and there'll be some breakout rooms for folks to join virtually as well. So hopefully you'll be able to be part of that, because I was looking forward to seeing you, and I know folks look forward to try to pick your brain on that stuff. So thanks again, Darius. Thank you so much. I appreciate you taking the time out of your day to put this video out, and we'll see you in Vegas.
Sounds good. Looking forward to it.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Bye-bye.